What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Demon Reads Comics, and today we're gonna do a review on Frank Miller's Sin City. I believe there's actually seven. Um, I don't want to say comics, but there's seven like stories that he tells overall, and that's kind of where they got the inspiration to do the movie. I don't know if you guys seen the movie or not. Me personally, I did see the movie before I read these comics. I didn't know the movie came from comics. Honestly, I didn't know Sin City, V for Vendetta, Watchmen, they all came from comics. So when I first started seeing that, I wanted to read the comics and see how they came, how they adapted it from. So yes, today we're gonna do Frank Miller's Frank Miller's Sin City. Um, I guess you can say his comics and where that started from. And the first one we're gonna do is this big, beautiful absolute. The first one is called The Hard Goodbye. And this is so freaking awesome because not only does it have a slipcase, you can see an S right here. There are 7 books, and in all the 7 books, each one has a letter. So when you put them right next to each other, side by side, it spells out Sin City. Now in the actual slipcase comes 2 things, but technically 3, because this actually shows up when you first unwrap this. It's in the back, and so I just pretty much grabbed it, or before so you guys can get a better look. It pretty much comes in here, so or it comes on the side, so I just stick it in there like this, and then you get a never before seen portfolio picture by Frank Miller. It's sideways, front and back. It's just kind of black brick. And then on the inside, it's a picture. And as you guys can tell, this is a picture of Marv. If you guys haven't seen the movie, his name is Marv. It would have been nice if Frank Miller signed it, though. You know what I mean? Like, if all of these were signed. I mean, not legit signatures, but like this copy of his signature would have been nice. But anyway, that's right there. And we're gonna set the slipcase to the side for a while, or for the rest of the video, and we're gonna focus on the book itself, Sin City by Frank Miller, The Hard Goodbye. The back of it says, "Worth dying for, worth killing for, worth going to hell for. Amen. Marv, The Hard Goodbye." This is an absolute hardcover. I do believe there's deluxe editions of this, and there's also trade paperbacks of this, but I ended up getting the absolute edition so I can enjoy the great art. Now, before going into that, I didn't know that this art wasn't colors and things like that. It's just black and white. So that's new to me. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know why it just says by Frank Miller. I don't know if there's there's obviously not colors, but give me a second. Oh, here we go. Yeah, there's a humongous list of people, like the president and publisher Mike Richardson, series and previous edition editors Randy Stradley, Diana Schultz, collection editor Fred I. Miller. Like, there's a big list of people that worked on these collections. But it's by Frank Miller, and it's published by Dark Horse Comics. What I really like about this, actually, is the pages are actually red. And it comes with the ribbon, as you guys can see up here up top. And as far as the binding goes, it is sewn binding. Look at that beautiful eye right there. Anyway, so let's go ahead and crack this book open and talk about the story a little bit. Like I said, I hope you guys watched the movie. If you guys haven't, I'll talk about the story in itself. If you guys know nothing about Sin City and this first story, we'll dive deep into it a little bit. And I hope I don't give spoilers away. But for those that haven't seen the movie or read this, but let's go ahead and crack this open. Alright guys, so here it is. Frank Miller's Sin City, The Hard Goodbye. This is an amazing, amazing story. Amazing. I did notice there's a little bit of like ripping right here. I don't know why it came like that. You guys can see there. I noticed it right when I opened it. When you see, the thing is, when you get trade paperbacks mailed to you,
there might be a little bit of damage to them. Same with the graphic novels. They do wrap him up a little bit, but absolutes, there should be absolutely nothing wrong with them because not only do they come wrapped up in plastic, but they come in the box, shipped inside a box. So there should be no damage to him. And I did see this and I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy considering the fact that absolutes are the most expensive books out there, aside from the omnibus, depending on how big they are. But some of these absolutes can cost way up there in price, you know. So anyway, so the story of The Hard Goodbye in the Sin City universe. It's a story of Marv. And what's funny is you don't actually know his name until like 38 pages into the story. And like I said, it's beautiful art, but it's just all in black and white. And at first I was kind of having a hard time with it because I've been reading, you know, graphic novels where they're all colored and things like that. So going from that to this, it's a bit of a transition, but you get used to it right away. Well, at least I did. But, excuse me, the story goes, there's different chapters. And like I said, if you guys haven't seen the movie, great. And if you guys haven't read the story goes, Marv, he's kind of like a 2-time ex-felon. And he spends a lot of time at this bar. He's taking medication because he's kind of like a brute. Like he's pretty much wants to always go to war and fight. And so he's been taking medication to kind of cool off, right? And so one day at a bar, he meets this girl, Goldie, and she kind of shows him the time of his life. He's never had this, I guess you can say, sexual interaction with anybody because he's an ugly looking dude. But she shows him that kindness that he's never seen before. And hold on, I gotta kind of look right here because there is a little bit of nudity, even though it's in black and white. So they, you know, she shows him this kind of love, and he falls for her hard, really hard. But you can't really see it there, but I'm gonna have to skip this page. There we go. But when finally after they get done with doing what they're doing, he wakes up and he notices that she's not breathing and that somebody came in and took her life, and he didn't even notice it. And so now his main objective is to find out who did that to her, you know, who killed her. He goes after the people that did it. And that's pretty much the main story of this is he pretty much tries to find out who went after, or who came after him, try to set him up, because right when he woke up, the police were already going there. Like there was no phone calls. There was like nobody checking in. He pretty much knows that somebody set him up and sent cops right away. So now his main objective in this story is to find out who set him up and who killed Goldie. And that's pretty much the premise of this book. He goes and sees, you know, his parole officer. He goes and sees a friend that works at the bar. He goes and visits. He goes and picks up his gear with his mom. And yeah, he goes out and he really starts causing havoc. What's weird is, like I said, you don't actually know his name at all until about page 30. I know I'm kind of flipping through this pretty quick. Amazing art, even though it's in black and white, but it's amazing art. Let's see. Not that one. Actually, is it that one? No. Right here, actually. Page 38. Right here. Settle down, Marv. Take another pill. That's when you exactly find out who this guy's name is. So we're like 2 chapters in, 38 pages in a book that has just like 200 pages, like this many pages in, and you just barely find out his name. You know, this is his parole officer named Lucille. Something happens with Lucille later on, and it's kind of, I don't want to give any spoilers if you guys haven't seen it, but yeah, something happens to her. Does he find out who killed Wendy? Yes, he does, but there's a twist behind it, and I don't want to give that away. But yeah, overall, he's kind of like on a war path of trying to find who set him up and who killed him. What's weird about Marv, though, like I said, if you guys never seen the movies or the two movies, or if you guys never read the comics, if you're initially reading this, you would think he's some sort of like superhuman, because not only does he heal from his wounds pretty quickly, but he's very agile. He can get shot and heal pretty quick. He moves very quickly, and he's very, very strong. Like there's a part on here. Let me see if I can find. This is when he goes to his mom's house and he picks up his weapon. What's funny about his weapon? He names his weapon Gladys, and it's actually kind of nice. There it is, right there, Gladys, a 1911, and this is his mom right here. What's funny is they actually didn't show this in the movie. This part, him talking to his mom. So overall, from the movie going from this to the movie, there is little bits and pieces that they didn't do in the movie that they did right here, and it's actually a lot better because it covers a little bit more. You get to dive deeper into Marv's backstory and who he is and why he is the way he is, kind of. And I want to show you this one piece. This is when he goes to the bar and he's trying to get a name, and you see Nancy dancing on the stage. Because there's really no nudity, but if it wasn't black and white, there'd be a lot of nudity, right? I don't know if Facebook is going to have something to say about that or not, but we'll see. I'm trying to get to the part to show you what I'm talking about. It is a little bit violent, but the good thing is you don't really see, because it's not in color. What's weird is I kind of flipped through all the other books to kind of open them, kind of check the spines on them and things like that. On the later books, they started adding different colors for like blue eyes and things like that, like they did in the movies. Like Goldie in the movie, her hair was gold, and that was the only color that they put in the movie, was the gold aspect of her hair. The rest of the movie was in black and white as well. Now, what I'm trying to get at is he can't sleep, and now he wants to go find answers. So he goes and starts like really beating down some people to try to get answers. And I believe this one right here is what got me to think he's superhuman. Because what he's doing right here, he's in the car with one hand, he's grabbing the dude completely with one hand and dragging him on the ground while he's driving. Do you know how much strength you need for that? Like, first of all, doing that with one hand, oof. That's what made me think he's a superhuman, but he's really not. Because technically he can be killed. It's just he's resilient. He has a pretty quick healing factor, and he's very agile and strong. So yeah, that's pretty much the story. He's trying to find out who set him up and who killed Goldie, the one that showed him what true love was, because he never knew what it was. And yeah, at the end, he goes and he really finds out who did it to him. He comes up against a lot of people, especially this guy right here, Kevin. Oh, that guy is him and his dad, actually, they are scum of the earth. I'm glad Marv took him out the way they did. But anyway, that's pretty much the story of this. Now, I don't want to give too much what happens at the end. Here's a little bit more of the art you guys can see. Somebody comes into the picture. So if you guys didn't know this, and I'm just going to put it out there, and I'm sorry if it's a little bit of spoiler, but Goldie actually had a twin sister named Wendy. And at first, Marv thinks that Goldie is coming back, but he knows that's not possible. So when he finds out that it's Goldie, she's like, no, it's Wendy, I'm her twin sister. Eventually, she helps him track down what happened to the sister. And so, yeah, they find out who's responsible, why he did it, and go from there. And at the end, something happens to Marv, which I'm not going to give the spoilers away. And so I just want to give one more look at the back pages. These are kind of like concept arts. I know this is a big book, so I'm trying to get everything in frame. I like these little stencils or the little drawings at the end of how they could have been, the art they were going with, and what they decided not to use. One in particular that got my attention really good Here's a little bit more of the drawing. I just want to show you this right here. They put so much detail into that, and I wish it would have been like that a lot more. Or this one, way more detail than, like, look at this. Look at all the detail in this. I wish it would have gone this route instead of what we got with this, you know? And that's pretty much it. Like I said, that's the story of this book, of the Sin City Hard Goodbye. Like I said, it's a beautiful book. Very, very good story. I kind of already knew what I was expecting because I did see the movie beforehand, and that was my fault. If I would have known there was a movie to it, like I said, I never knew there was an actual comic book based from the movie. So I watched the movie a while ago when it came out, and then I knew there were comics, so I read the comics. So if you guys haven't seen the movie, do yourself a favor and read this first before you watch the movie. It'll be so much better. I promise you. I promise you. Anyway, let's go ahead and do the last part of this video where I give a rating and go from there.
Alright guys, so what's going to be my rating for this book? I know I can give a rating for this book and by itself, but I'm eventually going to have to give a rating for the overall story arc of the 7 other books. And I hope you guys don't get bored of this, but I am going to be uploading each story of Sin City back to back. So it's going to be 7 stories. I'm not just going to, do one overall. And maybe at the end, I'll let you guys know what my favorite story was. But as of right now, like I said, I've only read The Hard Goodbye. And I'm going to give this an 8. I'm definitely keeping this. The art was beautiful. The story kept me intrigued. There wasn't much reading, because you would think back in the day, like, I think this was released back in, let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, it was released back in 1991. And so, I guess 1991 is when they kind of started doing a little bit different. Like, if you guys check out some of the old, like, Golden Age stuff, like Golden Age Batman, Golden Age Avengers, and things like that, you'll notice there's just so much reading going on. Like, for example, in the V for Vendetta, they had a lot of text bubbles. And this, if you guys noticed it, like, there's one, and like, this is 2 pages, right? There's cut. That's it. That's all you read. And the next page, there's a little bit of reading on here. And then because it's him like narrating it, but the actual like words, he says, humph, cough, hef, huh, and that's it. So there wasn't too much reading in this one, surprisingly. So yeah, overall, I'm giving this for sure an 8. I'm definitely keeping this absolute. I don't know about the other ones. As of right now, I'm keeping it. I might not like the other ones, but if I don't like the other ones, I'm going to have a hard time trying to decide if I'm going to keep the entire 7 books or not based off this one book alone. So just to give a quick recap, this is an absolute edition of Sin City's The Hard Goodbye by Frank Miller. Absolute, published by Dark Horse. And it has, here's the ribbon. Sewn binding. Beautiful sewn binding with the red pages. I highly recommend you guys read this book. Like I said previously in the segment before, if you guys haven't watched the movie, do yourself a favor and read these before you watch the movie. You guys don't have to, pay up the amount for the absolutes, not even the deluxe editions. You can pick up the trade paperbacks, which are very cheap, and give them a quick read. There are first of all, this one was amazing. I can't really say much for the other ones. Like I said, they did start adding the little bit of color like they did in the movies, but I don't know which one actually it started in. All I know is it didn't do it in this one whatsoever. I flipped the pages of the next book, and the next book's going to be called A Dame to Kill For. The only reason I flipped through it because every single time I get a new book, I try to relax the spine of it. And what I mean by that is when you open the book, you don't when you first get a book, you don't want to just start reading it right away and go from there. What you want to do is you want to lay it down, open the pages or open the covers side to side, and then get each page individually and flipping one side at a time. It takes a while. It takes a long while, depending if it's, an absolute and omnibus. And you crack it all the way down into the middle until it's done. And then you kind of flip through it. What I do is I kind of flip through it this way a little bit like this. And then I grab it again and I flip through it like this. And all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to relax the spine a little bit. Because if you don't end up doing that, what happens is the spine, it starts kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like creasing, but to like a side. Like it doesn't start opening in the middle like it's supposed to. It'll start kind of creasing to like one side, and then you can actually possibly damage it as well. I've seen some books do that actually, and it kind of sucks. I know one of the books that I have so far, it's an omnibus, and it's already started to do it, and I haven't even read it, where it's kind of like, I'm going to see if I can do it with this book, and I don't want to mess it up, but it's kind of like upward like this. And it's weird because I haven't even opened it to start reading it yet. So that's what I mean, that when you get books, especially big books like this, you want to relax the spine. You want to do it a few times as well. Like once you're done reading it, maybe give it another go before you put it away, and that way you can help relax the spine, because you pay a lot for these books and you want to take care of them, right? So anyway, I hope you guys like this video, the review of it. I hope I didn't give any spoilers away. If you guys like the video, please give me a like. Smash that thumbs up. Leave a comment if you guys read this before the movie, or if you guys saw the movie before you guys read the Frank Miller's comics. Let me know which one you guys liked more, if you guys like the movie or the graphic novels. Let me know what you guys want me to do next. If you guys have any recommendations, like I said, right now, I'm going to try to do the next 7 Sin Cities. I think after that, I'm going to do Hot Paprika by Mirka Andolfo. And then I'm going to do a whole bunch of Watchmen. There's Before the Watchmen. And then I think I'm going to do... So it goes Before Watchmen Omnibus, Absolute Watchmen, and then I think I'm going to do Doomsday Clock by Watchmen. And then there's another one called Rorschach. That's a hardcover. I'm going to be doing all those. And then after that, I'm going to do Faithless, something, or A Nice House on the Lake. So I got a list. If you guys want me to put something in beforehand, let me know, and I'll look at it, look into it, see if I can pick it up for cheap and go from there. If you guys haven't done so already, please get subscribed to my channel. It really helps build my channel out and get these videos out there for other people to see. It really helps me. I know that these videos are more for me, more than anything, but it helps people make the decision on if they want to pick up these books or not, and how they want to pick them up. If they want to pick them up in trade paperback, deluxe editions, or absolutes, or omnibus if they're out there. So that really helps. That being said, we'll see you in the next one.